Hey guys, Jan here in the Northview model shop. We're talking mentors, and I'd like to touch base on a mentor of mine. He's not well known on YouTube. He's not a YouTuber. He's not on Facebook. He's old school. And that's my buddy Steve-O. Steve-O started attending. Steve-O's been doing models for decades, and when I started doing the model tour 6 years ago. Locally around here, Steve-O was always at all the shows, and he is a full figure painter. So he's into doing like the G.I. Joe scale, 1/20th, 1/8, I guess, like 1/16th, I guess they call it, larger stuff, and exotic stuff, if you will. I've not seen much of his exotic work, as he feels it's not appropriate, as most of the model shows around here are held at schools or at legions. So the items that he has painted in his younger time, not appropriate, which is kind of cool. And I wish I could get down to his place and check out his full selection. But really great guy, really loves kids. At the model shows, I think the poor guy gives away more things to kids and stuff, especially my kids, than he sells. He's always like, my kids will be sitting there doing something, he'll come over with a Star Wars kit. He's like, oh, you know, I've got $30 on this, but it's missing this part, and it's a really hard kit to find, but the instructions are gone. Do you think your kids would want to have this? And I'm like, well, yeah, Steve, I'll give you $20. And he's like, no. I just like seeing kids happy and smiling, working on model kits, right? They're their future, right? And he gives kits off. But really, guys, he came up to me one day, and he was really impressed with my airplanes and stuff, because he was an airplane builder on the side as well, but mostly sci-fi, gruesome, Frankenstein, weird things like that. And he came up to me and he goes, man, I got something you might be interested in. And he gave us a couple figures, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Revell monster kits, and he gave the wife the Revell Joker kit, the big vinyl one, and he taught her everything she needed to know how to work with it. And he spent hours talking about it, and he was always following up. What did you get it done? How do you do that? Did you do this? He was helping out, and we never really got much with that one, but he just gave. He wouldn't take any money for him. But a year ago, I picked out the Frankenstein kit. As we talked in one of our previous videos about Gilbert Mondragon and getting into figures, I had a figure. It came from Steve-O. So, I started painting it, and as I was painting it with a hand brush, I was thinking a lot about my buddy Steve-O, and some of his things he had showed me at the show, some tips and tricks, and I kept working towards it, and I kept thinking, I want to do good. I want to see if this meets with Steve-O's. Do I impress him? Is it up to Steve-O's standards? And we went to the model show, the first model show with it. We sat it down on a table, and Steve-O met at the show. And so we went for a quick run, and I said, Steve, what do you think over here? And he points to the Frank's. He goes, I'm not sure who made that, but that color of Frank's Dracket is spot on, and the grass is really good. Whoever painted that did an amazing job. And I said, Steve-O, that's my Frankenstein you gave me. And he was just at awe. He was so impressed with me, and I felt so good because I impressed one of my mentors. I did a good job. And then we did okay at that show, and the next show we went to, it ended up winning best figure in the category. And there's a picture my buddy takes of me walking back from the stand, and I've got the big point on, right, and I'm pointing right at Steve-O because he's smiling ear to ear. He stood up and he's clapping, he's smiling ear to ear for me, and that made me so happy and so proud to know that my mentor was pleased with what I had done. So hats off to you, Steve-O, man. You are a really great influence. You're a great man, a great person. You're a great ambassador to the hobby here in the Maritimes. Steve's had a hard life. He was in the military. His eyes are burnt out just about from years of high altitude surveillance and aircraft, and his knees are busted and gone, and poor guy, he was involved in a hit and run earlier this year, and he's just had a hard go at her. So Steve-O, buddy, a fast recovery to you, and we'll see you hopefully in a couple weeks at the next model show coming up, and let's talk shop when we're there. Alright, brother, thanks a million, Steve-O. You've been a super awesome mentor to me.